Right now on Up with KREM, Washington State is moving forward with its vaccine distribution plan. This morning, who is next in line?
With the news of a third vaccine set to arrive in the United States this month. Today, we're taking a look at our progress in vaccinations here in the Northwest.
Our warm, sunny stretch of weather continues today with near record high temperatures, but enjoy it while you can. Cooler weather and showers arrive tomorrow.
I immediately bought into the vision. I said, yeah, the Maxi Center is needed here in Spokane as a cultural center.
For Women's History Month, KREM is hosting the Opportunity Washington Benefit Concert called I'm Every Woman on the CW22. This morning, we speak with the Executive Director of the Carl Maxi Center about how the money raised will help the Spokane community.
Up with KREM starts right now with Jen York, Joshua Robinson, Jeremy Legoo, and Dana Marie McNichol.
We're tracking breaking news overnight. We have an update on a K-9 officer who helped end a local standoff by aiding a SWAT team in apprehending a suspect that was hiding in the walls of a Spokane home.
So it happened this morning at a home on North Wall Street. Leaders say it's a domestic violence case. Officers were able to rescue an adult and child from that home, and then they began to search for the suspect.
Yeah, the K-9 officer alerted officers to a solid decorated wall, and the 41-year-old suspect, who's also an 11-time felon, was arrested for breaking into the home and violating court orders. Of course, we'll keep you updated on any new information involving this standoff, the end of this standoff, and this ongoing investigation.
Here at 6 a.m., 35 degrees, Jeremy. We still have a long way to go before we max out today.
Oh, yes, we do. More than 25 degrees is what we are going to gain here in Spokane today. And standing out here this morning, few things I'm noticing. One is that it really isn't that bad after being out here the past few mornings. Temps in the mid-30s is something I've gotten used to. The other is just how incredibly beautiful the sunrise is over on the eastern sky. If you can step outside and just take a look to the east, do so during our next commercial. Highly recommend it. It's going to get better here for the next, say 25 minutes, and then we'll start to see it, well, the sun comes up and it's sunny outside. Temps in the mid-30s right now, and that's the case across much of central Washington and eastern Washington. You make your way into North Idaho and temps hovering right around the 30-degree mark, give or take a few degrees. We've got some of those high-hanging clouds, and those are going to kind of stick around throughout the day today, very similar to what we saw yesterday. But when we add in our wind, that'll be enough to really bump those temperatures up that extra few degrees that we didn't see yesterday. Yesterday we did top out at 59. And so I went, ooh, wow, just missed it by 1 degree. But today, I don't think we missed that elusive 60-degree mark. We've got some clouds hanging out for now, but I think those rather quickly move their way out as wind picks up later on this morning. It's a monster storm out on the west side, and that monster storm plays a huge role in our weather today and as we head into the day tomorrow. Today, it's just ever so close to us, but we're on the front side of it, so we really get to warm up. Tomorrow, all that moisture moves in. We lose a lot of that energy. That low or that storm itself kind of just gets eaten up as it makes its way toward us. So by the time it hits us, it's just a light round of showers. But today, our temperatures climb into the low 60s. If we hit 61 degrees, that ties a long-standing record from 1905. And just looking out, the sunrise is actually getting better as I stand here. So it's absolutely incredible. Next commercial break, run outside and take a look.
Well, take a look with you, Jeremy. It's 6:02 this morning. More people in Washington will soon be able to get a vaccine, as Governor Inslee has announced that on March 22nd, the state will enter Tier 2 of Phase 1B of vaccine distribution. Nicole Hernandez joins us now with a breakdown of the new timeline and who will be eligible. Hey there, Nicole.
Hey Joshua, so Governor Inslee's office did put out that new projected timeline for when people will be able to get that COVID-19 vaccine. The next group coming up here this month is actually critical workers, like potentially grocery store workers that work in grocery stores like behind me. So, and that's going to be happening in March here, and then in April also people with medical conditions will be expected to be able to get that vaccine. So I want to go over exactly when these changes are going to happen. First up, starting March 22nd, critical workers like people in grocery stores, agriculture, prisons, transit, firefighters, and law enforcement can get the vaccine. People 16 years and older who are pregnant or have a disability are also eligible at that point. Then 3 weeks after that, starting April 12th, people 50 and older with two or more comorbidities or underlying medical conditions like cancer, kidney failure, diabetes, and obesity can start to be vaccinated. Then, on April 26th, the vaccine will be available for people 16 and older with two or more underlying medical conditions, and then also those living in places like group homes and shelters. Governor Inslee said the federal push to get vaccines out faster and the new Johnson & Johnson vaccine is what made this new plan possible.
I have to tell you, I am thrilled at the progress that our federal government is making in combination with these manufacturers to increase supplies.
Now, Washington State has almost hit its goal of administering 45,000 COVID-19 vaccines per day. As of Wednesday, March 7th, the 7-day average per day was at 44,000, according to the Department of Health. Of course, very exciting as we continue to get everyone vaccinated. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, thank you. 6:04 now, and time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
The attempted murder trial of Tyler Rambo continued yesterday, with experts discussing the firearm he allegedly used. Rambo is accused of waving a gun and firing it during the 4th of July celebration in Coeur d'Alene 2 years ago. The detective who collected the gun from that shooting told the jury it was a .357 revolver. Other evidence found at City Park that night included 2 spent rounds. Forensic scientists confirmed for the jury those rounds were shot from the suspect's revolver. The detective also told the jury that investigators found 13 live .357 rounds in the suspect's back pocket. This testimony concluded the prosecutor's list of witnesses for the trial. The defense will now call its witnesses next when the trial resumes on Monday morning.
A Spokane school bus driver died following a brief battle with COVID-19. Dave Simpson worked for Durham Bus Services. Family members say he died this week. Now, they believe he contracted the virus last month during an outbreak among staff. Leaders say he was one of 28 employees to test positive for the virus. Now, he was a bus attendant for Spokane Public School students living with disabilities, and he worked for the company for 2 years.
The only place it could come from would be from the bus line. My question to the Durham bus line is, were they requiring them to wear masks? Wear a mask, get the shot. Do whatever you need to protect you and your family.
Now, Durham released a statement, and it reads in part, employees are subject to daily employee screening, social distancing, mask protocols, and disinfecting protocols. The school district also released a statement expressing condolences for his family. You can read more about this story right now on KREM.com.
The Drug Enforcement Administration says a Mexican-based cartel is flooding fentanyl into the Pacific Northwest. Fentanyl is the drug most associated with overdoses in our state. The agency says there was a 92% increase in fentanyl seizures last year, and that trend is only going up. Just this week, Seattle police officers seized 16,000 fentanyl pills from a man in North Seattle.
When you see thousands of pills seized, that's not uncommon, and we're seizing that on a daily basis in Seattle.
According to the University of Washington, the second quarter of last year saw 171 fentanyl-involved OD cases and deaths in the state. There were 63 in the same quarter a year earlier. The reasons behind the recent spike are still unclear, but researchers do believe the pandemic is likely playing some kind of role. That's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. Well, here at 6:07, a Dutch inventor is going viral this morning. Dana McNichol joining us with more. It's caught us all a little off guard, right?
Well, this story is definitely going to make you look twice. A new COVID-19 test could be on the market, and it's leaving those unpleasant nasal swabs behind. So video of people getting tested is actually trending on Twitter this morning, and I can absolutely see why. Take a look and listen. Well, it looks like the dual purpose test for me. Burn off a little steam and get a COVID test while you're at it. This unique method comes from a Dutch inventor who asks participants to step into an airlocked cabin and scream, or they could sing. They say the method is faster and much easier than what's on the market right now. So let's take a look at a photo of a man stepping into a testing chamber. Maybe he's deciding whether he wants to sing, let out a tune, or a scream. Now, the inventor Peter Van Wees is actually a serial entrepreneur. He has his booth set up to a coronavirus testing center on the outskirts of Amsterdam, so set up right next to it, to try his invention on the people who have just been tested. Now, he says that although lots of small particles from the person's clothes and breath are detected, an infection shows up as a cluster. So he's working with a private company right now to gather evidence for his strategy. What a unique way to test. I'm all for it, guys.
I just want to say for all of us, that second guy shouting is our favorite.
Jen thought it was a sheep.
He seemed so unenthused.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're claustrophobic and you close yourself in a tiny little airtight box, you're just going to scream anyway.
I feel like it also could get out some, pent-up aggression.
Yeah,
If you do a little scream, get it out of your system.
That's what I was thinking.
You guys
I'm
don't
like
scream
angry that I have to give a COVID test.
Yeah. Dana Marie, every day, you got to just let out a good scream. Just, cleanse yourself.
So if you hear loud noises before the show at 5 a.m., you know what's going on. and I'll tell, blame it on Jeremy.
Yeah, there you go. In the Weather Center, they know to just leave me alone.
Smart.
Well, Dana Marie, thanks so much for bringing us that story, giving us a chuckle this morning. It is 6:09 now. Of course, the Inland Northwest loves to see our local businesses thrive. And this morning, a new list highlights the best up-and-coming shops.
The businesses that we're really focused on are ones with explosive growth potential.
After the break, we highlight businesses with the potential to grow nationwide.
And we're talking a rather warm end to the work week. Temperatures soar to near record highs later on this afternoon, but rain and cooler temperatures return this weekend.